Welcome everyone, I'm Achilles Hero and welcome to another video. I know it is a little bit late to be posting up Forest Cup videos, but I did promise the Youngster 4 members that I would get the video out there. Unfortunately, I've been pretty slack and I haven't been able to get the Forest Cup video out until now. So my apologies. I hope to in the future to be quicker at uploading these tournaments. Okay, diving into the first round, we get the hero showdown once again. We can't seem to escape one another. We get matched in colossal matches, we get matched in Youngster 4 matches, we get matched in local matches, we even matched in regionals. Silph just love seeing this hero showdown each tourney. On the right, you can see my team. People did ask, why Durant? Well, I'd already picked my other 5 Pokemon, and I needed something that could handle Kingdra. Something that could handle Kingdra and Ferrothorn. Durant having that steel typing resisted the Kingdra's Dragon Breath damage, and with the Stone Edge was able to beat Kingdra, and obviously being a bug type that beats Ferrothorn. So that's why I picked Durant, to just round out the team and cover the Kingdra weakness. In this battle, I decided to lead Cradily because it covered Boba Fett's team really well. All I really had to worry about was a Scavalier with the counter damage, because even Magmortar, with it only doing fire spin damage, it's not going to do a hell of a lot of damage to Cradily, being a part rock type. So all I had to really watch out for was counter on a Scavalier. Second game, I decided to open with Ampharos, which also had good coverage against his team. The lead game Mega switches into Lantern. Decide not to switch out. It's a good neutral matchup. Volt Switch and Thunder Punch is going to do quite a bit of damage to Lantern. I really only have to worry about Hydro Pump, and I have shields, so I just shield this Hydro Pump and farm the Lantern down. Now Scavalier comes in. I go for the bait because I need to burn a shield. Get the shield. Now I'll go for the Focus Blast. And if they don't shield this, it's going to KO. And they don't shield it, so surprise them with the Focus Blast. And we're able to sweep with Ampharos because he has decided that he can't win this match, so he just lets it go. So we do win the first round pretty comfortably, but he was running a very anti-meta Spice team, and I just luckily had the picks with Ampharos and Cradily to really cover his team pretty well. Sometimes anti-meta can work, can really surprise people who weren't prepared for it. And in this matchup in particular, I go for the Ice Beam because he's going to have to shield if he wants to keep that Yanmega alive. But I also need to shield this, expecting it to be Ancient Power. So I do not want to get hit with an Ancient Power, but he ends up using the Bug Buzz. Interesting. I'm not sure if he did have Ancient Power or not, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I'll go for the Bubble Beam to debuff that Cast Form before bringing in Ampharos, but then he switches into a Scavalier. At this point, I'm trying to do the same thing as last match. Go for the Thunder Punch and then go for the Focus Blast. need a shield. I shield this to try to reach the Focus Blast, but he does have built up energy, so I'm just not able to reach that Focus Blast in time. And I'll bring back in Mantine to finish it off. Go for the Bubble Beam so I don't get hit with the charge move. And it's Castle in the back, so I just bring in Cradily to finish it off. He's going to spam Weather Balls here, but as soon as I land that Grass Knot, it's going to be GG's to take out game 3. Okay, on to the second round. We're up against Cactus, Epic Cactus. Up until this point, every time I'd burst him in a tourney, it swept me 3-0. So it was nice to be able to catch the lead here. Go for the Stone Edge, and they don't shield. At this point, I'm expecting it probably to have Ice Beam, so I shield. So at this point, I'm very happy because I've got the right shield play and I've landed the Stone Edge. So I should be able to win this matchup from here. Go to the Grass Knot to finish off the Mantine, but they decide to shield. They want to land at least an Ice Beam on my Pokemon. I'm not going to double shield, so I am going to let it through. But I'm going to be able to win on Bullet Seeds to win the lead. And I go for the Stone Edge to cover this Blaziken that just got switched in. Doesn't shield the Stone Edge there. Probably expected a Grass Knot. Switches into Meganium. I go for... they actually get the charge move first. But I shield the Frenzy Plant. Go for the debuff first. Debuff it so when they do land the Frenzy Plant, it's not going to hurt as much. Go for the Ice Beam. Yeah, expected him to shield there. I bring in Ampharos. So I know I couldn't stay in with Meganium. So I pretty much sack this Ampharos. Make the Meganium use all its energy to use the Earthquake. Blaziken comes in. Good move on their part actually, because what they did was remove the debuff by switching out. And I go very risky and go for the Ice Beam. I wasn't confident that Bubble Beam would have been enough to take out that Meganium, so I did go for the Ice Beam to try to guarantee that win. And I'm just able to get that in time, but that was very close. That cut it really close. Okay, went for the Ampharos lead to try to catch a Mantine, but unable to do so, and Meganium is going to win that matchup, so I just decided to safe switch into Mantine. Shield the Frenzy Plant, and they switch into Crust. Didn't want to go for the bait, I wanted to land this Ice Beam this time, and I'm able to do so. So now I just go straight for the Bubble Beam. It's going to do super effective damage, it's going to be enough to take it out, and if they do burn a shield, I feel like it would have been a waste of a shield. And they bring back in Meganium to Vine Whip me Mantine down. Bring in Blaziken, but I am going to have to shield this because it would have been Earthquake with all the energy that was farmed up. Got to go for the Blaze Kick to burn their shield. Burn the shield, and then I switch out with the built up energy on Ampharos to burn the last shield. And I expect a Frenzy Plant to come in between these Thunder Punches, but I'm able to get to a second one to take out this Meganium. And they have Mantine in the back, and going to land a third Thunder Punch to win the second game and the round. I feel like Cactus could have won if they just went for a Frenzy Plant on Ampharos. Because they had Mantine in the back to cover my Blaziken. So they needed to take out that Ampharos. But I could see what they were trying to do. They were trying to risk it and go for the Earthquake Nuke. But Ampharos is pretty squishy, and Frenzy Plant, I believe, would have been enough to take out my Ampharos and win that round, because I did have Blaziken in the back. As you can see, not with a Stone Edge either. We got lucky in this third battle as well, winning the lead again. They shield here, expecting that my Blaziken might have had Stone Edge, but then I went for the Blaziken bait. They decided not to double shield, so I did just reveal that I had Blast Burn on my Blaziken. Bring in Ampharos. I decide to shield this Ice Beam to keep me Ampharos healthy, and they switch out into Heracross, and I bring back in my Mantine to counter it. Bubble Beam it to debuff the Heracross before it reaches a close combat. That did come down to CMP, as you can see. And able to wing attack the Heracross down. There, Mantine comes back in, but I have a quite healthy Ampharos in the back, and they decide not to shield here. They pretty much gave up the game. Don't think they could have won from there. Even if they did land the Ice Beam, Ampharos was at full enough health, so I think they knew that they couldn't win from there, so they just let it through. Moving on to the third round, we're up against Jonarghh, and we get the lead that we were after. Durant versus Ferrothorn. They switch into Blaziken, and we switch into Swampert. So I get the good lead and the hard switch. I know I can tank a Blaze Kick, so I don't shield here. It gets to a second Blaze Kick. I shield here because I want to land this Hydro Cannon. And Jonarghh double shields, so he's able to win that matchup. Lucky for me, I have Mantine in the back, so I do just take it down on wing attacks. A Ferrothorn comes back in, there's no point for me baiting here. Might as well just go straight for the Ice Beam when he's down on shields. And I switch back into Durant to get off this X-Scissor. And quite quickly that Ferrothorn is down on health. And this is why I brought in Durant into my team as a unique Kingdra counter with that Stone Edge to take out Kingdra, and got the shield, so I'm going to shield this Power Whip. It wouldn't have done much damage anyway, but just guarantee the win by shielding and bug biting it down. In this second battle, I decide to lead Cradily to try to counter a Kingdra, Swampert or Galvantshire lead, or even a Jump Puff lead. But I get the Blaziken lead, so I have to switch out into my own Blaziken. Or I could have switched into Mantine, but I decided to not go for the hard counter. So my Blaziken's going to lose to Kingdra, deciding what Pokemon to bring in. So now I do reveal I have Mantine in the back, and they go for Outrage. I was expecting a bait, so when that Outrage went through, it pretty much turned the tide of the match, because now I really only have one Pokemon left, and he's got 2 shields. So I tried burning the shield with Ferrothorn. Unable to do so. My Cradily I have to bring my Cradily back in to try to at least try to land a Stone Edge, but it's in a very tough situation here. He had 2 shields, he's got the counters, there's not much I can do apart from try to land a Stone Edge and hoping he doesn't shield, but being a high level ace trainer, he is not going to risk not shooting. And he's going to take out game 2. Okay, in this third battle, I decide to lead Swampert, and I'm able to catch the Blaziken lead. So I go straight for Hydro Cannon. Good timing, good switch. He's able to switch out in time to tank the Hydro Cannon with Ferrothorn. But I got the strat that I wanted going in. Lead Swampert and bait out Ferrothorn. And when Ferrothorn comes out, switch into Durant. That was a strat that I thought of when leading Swampert. And luckily enough, that strat ended up working how I thought. Blaziken comes in, I try building up for a Stone Edge, but I realised, no, I'm just going to go for the X-Scissor, so I can at least burn a shield. And nearly made a second one. Obviously Jonarghh was farming up that Durant, which is why I went for the X-Scissor, because I knew I couldn't get to a Stone Edge in time. But I was nearly able to get 2 X-Scissors because Durant, Jonarghh farmed it down. At this point I was just able to get that Sludge Wave off. I knew I had to bait and then go for the Sludge Wave. And luckily enough, my Pokemon had good IVs to be able to pull that off. So now I had 2 shields for that Kingdra. I didn't want to get hit with the Outrage, so I did shield the first one. Now here, I make the mistake of shielding a Blaze Kick. I should have known that anyone wants to bait first and then use the nuke. But I thought maybe he would use the nuke first and hope that I didn't shield. But luckily enough, my Mantine was at full health and I was able to survive a Stone Edge. Okay, moving on to the final. It's the battle of the Wi-Fi YouTubers. By the way, the rank up the top isn't our current rank. It's the rank that we were at during the tournament. So now, Baddjordan is actually Elite Trainer. Because he did very well in his wildcard tournament to try to claim a spot for Continentals. Apparently there was a bug that was more than 10 times weighted for that tournament, so he thinks that he will be back to Ace Trainer, but shout out to Baddjordan anyway for reaching that elite rank, and I will leave a description below to his channel, so check out Baddjordan's channel. Very good battler. And as you can see, we got the Cradily and Crustle lead. I decided to double shield because I wanted to land that Stone Edge. So I knew I could win if I landed a Stone Edge on that Crustle. But to Baddjordan's credit, he just wanted to get rid of that Cradily because that Cradily matches up well against his team. So once we both double shielded, it came down to what other picks we had in the back. And perfect timing on that switch. I was going to be able to get that Hydro Cannon on Blaziken, but he switched out just as I reached Hydro Cannon to Kingdra to tank my Hydro Cannon. Now if I didn't fall for that, I might have been able to get a Sludge Wave off on that Kingdra and potentially turn the match around. But because he got that perfect switch, he was able to tank that Hydro Cannon, and then that Kingdra was able to survive long enough to Dragon Breath that Swampert down in the end. So very well played by Baddjordan. And we lose the lead in the second battle. I felt like Swampert would have been a safe lead, as I only had to really worry about that Jump Fluff, but then that Jump Fluff comes out in the lead. So I decide not to shield this first energy ball, but then I get a debuff. then I fall for going for a bubble beam without actually building up to an ice beam. So a good player of his caliber is counting my moves, so he knew that I was just a bubble beam and switches out into Crustle. Decide to shield here to keep my Mantine alive, try to build up to an ice beam, but then I made the mistake of going for a bubble beam. Obviously he's not going to shield this and I've just wasted my energy, and Kingdra comes in and just Dragon Breaths it down. So what I needed to do was try to farm down that Crustle and hope I didn't die in time. So now I'm 2 shields down, he's got 2 shields and he's got Kingdra. So all he has to do from here is just go straight outrages. Like Cradily, I'm just like, I've got to try to burn a shield at least, so I go for a Grass Knot. But even this Dragon Breath damage, I'm not going to be able to reach another one. So I switch out, try to at least reach a Hydro Cannon, but this outrage is pretty much going to knock out this Swampert. Able to get to a Hydro Cannon, but you know, Kingdra being a water and dragon type, it's not going to do enough, but he switches out and perfectly tanks the Hydro Cannon, so he's pretty much guaranteed that win. It was difficult for me to win before, but there's no way I was going to win from that point. So very well played on the switches. And going into our third battle, and I decided to go for the Cradily lead again, but then I lost the lead as he went with Blaziken. So exactly what you don't want in a final. Losing the lead all 3 times and in your weighted. That's what can happen. I got some pretty good luck at the start of the tournament and just happened to get very bad luck at the end of the tournament with the leads. I learnt from the second battle that this time I at least built up to an ice beam before throwing the bait, but I'm unable to get the bait. Luckily I shielded that outrage. And switch out to tank and Octazooka with Durant. Blaziken's going to come in, and I try to reach a Stone Edge, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to reach it in time, got to go for the X-Scissor, but that 1 second too slow. Going to be able to tank out this Blaziken, but I really need to burn his shield here, and it's not looking good with my Mantine at so low health. Gotta hope this Kingdra shields, but it doesn't, and from here it's going to be difficult because he's got Jumpluff in the back and I've got Cradily. This matchup would have been preferred if Jumpluff didn't have a shield, because at least the Stone Edge would have done super effective damage, but because he's got the shield, he's able to shield the Stone Edge, and Energy Ball is going to be enough to pretty much take out that Cradily to sweep the final and sweep the tourney. Okay, that reaches the end of my video. I'd like to give a quick shout out to the Arena Australis Alm Youngster 4 members. Apologies for making you have to wait so long to be able to watch this. I've been pretty slack, been busy as well, but I think I've just really committed to a lot of tourneys and haven't really left myself enough time to actually edit me videos and upload them. And it also doesn't help being a gamer, starting up a game again that you get addicted to and start to play that a fair bit more than Pogo. I'd also like to give a shout out to 200% Gary. He was my very first YouTube subscriber. Thanks for all your support. And as always, shout out to Big T. And also everybody else that's watching my videos that I haven't mentioned. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.